If you understand this, the future won't scare you. Fear comes from not knowing. Fear doesn't come from the future itself. It comes from not understanding what's changing. People aren't afraid because technology is advancing. They're afraid because the world feels unpredictable, unstable, out of their control. Jobs feel uncertain. Money feels fragile. Skills feel temporary. And when people don't understand why things feel unstable, their imagination fills the gap with fear. But here's the truth. The future only scares people who don't know how change actually works. Clarity is stronger than confidence. There have been moments like this before. Moments when people believed the world was becoming unrecognizable. When machines replaced manual labor. When electricity reshaped cities. When the internet rewired communication. Every time, fear rose first. Not because change was evil, but because it wasn't understood. This video is about removing that fear. Not with optimism, not with motivation, but with clarity. Because once you understand the mechanics of change, the future stops feeling threatening and starts feeling navigable. Why uncertainty feels so heavy right now? The human brain is wired to predict. For most of history, the future looked like the past, just slightly improved. You learned a skill. You refined it. You relied on it. But today, progress doesn't move linearly. It leaps. Artificial intelligence learns faster than humans. Innovation spreads globally overnight. Entire industries shift before people can adapt. So your brain does what it always does in uncertainty. It assumes danger, but uncertainty is not danger. It's a lack of context. Why the future always scares people first. Every major shift follows the same emotional pattern. First, disbelief. Then, resistance. Finally, acceptance. The printing press terrified scholars. Electricity terrified candle makers. The internet terrified traditional businesses. Not because these changes destroyed value, but because they redistribute it. Fear is not a sign something is wrong. Why most people never feel this calm. Most people are taught to specialize narrowly, avoid uncertainty, wait for permission. That works in stable eras. It fails in transition eras. Calm comes from understanding motion, not clinging to stillness. What it means to be future-ready. Being future-ready doesn't mean predicting everything. It means thinking in probabilities, learning continuously, staying mentally flexible. The future doesn't belong to the fearless. It belongs to the prepared. Why this channel exists. This channel exists to replace fear with understanding. To help you see change before it feels urgent. Understand systems, not just events. Stay calm while others panic. This is not about getting rich fast. It's about staying oriented in a shifting world. Fear fades with understanding. When you understand how innovation moves, how intelligence accelerates, and how money flows, the future stops feeling hostile. It becomes something you can learn, position for, and navigate. If this perspective helped you breathe easier, subscribe, not because you're afraid of the future, but because you're ready to understand it. Why speed is not the same as progress. One of the biggest misunderstandings about the future is speed. People think things are moving fast, so they rush, they chase trends, they jump from idea to idea. They feel pressure to act immediately. But innovators don't move fast. They move deliberately. Speed without direction is noise. Progress requires understanding. The calm people you admire aren't slower, they're clearer. And clarity always looks like patience from the outside. Why most education fails to prepare people for change. Traditional education was built for stability. Learn once. Apply forever. Follow instructions. Avoid mistakes. But the future rewards the opposite. Learning continuously. Updating beliefs. Experimenting publicly. Being wrong early. This is why so many intelligent people feel lost. They weren't trained to adapt. They were trained to comply. Understanding this removes self-doubt. You're not behind. You were trained for a different era. The invisible skill that will define the next 50 years. The most valuable skill of the future isn't coding. It isn't design. It isn't AI itself. It's sense-making, the ability to see patterns, filter noise, connect ideas across domains, decide what matters. Machines generate information. Humans must generate meaning. Those who can make sense of chaos will always have leverage. Why calm is a strategic advantage. Panic destroys judgment. Every major mistake in history was made under emotional pressure. Calm people choose better timing, ask better questions, notice hidden opportunities. Calm isn't passive, it's controlled awareness, and understanding creates calm. That's why fear fades when clarity arrives. How to think in stemmas, not events. Most people react to events. Innovators study systems. Events are loud. Systems are quiet. A company failing is an event. An industry shifting is a system. A new app launching is an event. A change in user behavior is a system. Once you learn to see systems, headlines stop controlling your emotions. You stop reacting. You start positioning. Why the future always rewards the patient. Short-term thinking dominates media. How to use the future as a teacher, not a threat. Every new technology asks a question. What becomes more valuable now? Those who ask that question early don't feel threatened. They feel curious. Curiosity replaces fear, and curiosity is the engine of innovation. Why understanding is the real form of power. Power isn't control. It's comprehension. When you understand systems incentives, technology, human behavior, you don't need to dominate the future. You can navigate it, and navigation beats force every time. The future is not an enemy. The future isn't here to punish you. It's here to test how well you learn, how calmly you think, how clearly you adapt. Once you understand that, fear dissolves, and curiosity takes its place. If this long-form clarity is what you want more of, this channel is built for you. Subscribe, not to escape the future, but to understand it.